What's good, people? It's your boy DJ GX, and right now you're watching another episode of Real Talk. Today we have one of the biggest SL artists, probably of the last 15 years now.
I've been in the business.
You've been in the business for a while, eh?
Since 2000.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big man is in the building. He's in London this week. He decided to come in and hang out with us. So I'm not gonna keep you waiting anymore. Daddy Sarge, how you doing, sir?
Great, nice to meet you. It's a pleasure.
It's good to see you, mate.
Thank you.
You know, it's like, I think yesterday, you obviously, you were in the community yesterday just doing your little thing. That was like the first time in a long time you've been in London doing this thing, man. It was good to see that. How did that feel for you? Was it like different?
Well, basically, the promoters for that event, kind of like, some of them are my close friends.
Right.
And we've been doing things way back. But I wasn't arranged to perform on the show, but it was my wife's birthday. So I used the opportunity to, showcase, the love of my life.
Cool.
And with a surprise performance and cutting of a birthday cake with our friends, and just to blow, out to the green zone and just make her feel like, wow.
What are you doing right now? You've been away from the scene for a while. We miss you, big man. What are you doing?
Well, I'm that kind of guy which I call myself a perfectionist.
Right.
In a sense, I whatever I do in life has to go through three categories, which is organization, priority, and time management.
Okay.
Okay. With music, it's a great thing. Just like sport, just like professional jobs. I have a timing, a due date, ETA, estimated time, whatever, in everything that I do. I have a time for music.
Right.
Which was by the time when I'm 30, I should be able to achieve this.
Cool.
By the time I'm 35, I should be able to achieve family. By the time I'm 40, I should be able to achieve, So for me, music was all for me now. And it gave me everything that I could not even imagine or ask for in life.
Right.
Took me around the world, had so much fame, made a lot of money and connection and placed me in that platform. But at a certain age, it was like time for me to move to the next level.
Right.
Which is, I have bigger dreams, which was my biggest dream in life growing up was to become a doctor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I had to, push and start a new life, which is academia, put myself in university. Till now, I'm about rounding up my master's in healthcare.
I don't think I've met anyone in your situation right now that goes from quite, I'm an entertainment to I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
How's the experience been for you from an entertainer to now? I mean, is the discipline, is it different?
Absolutely, the discipline is different. I got my discipline growing up from my home.
Okay.
Music did not give me all the discipline, everything that I've presented in my character, my personality, my style. No, these are things I emulated from, watching other stars.
Right.
And just, some just came out of me. I don't know how, maybe my life experience, but with what I'm into now, it's totally different. This is not about you. This is about what's in the books.
Okay.
This is about regulations. Okay. This is about structures that you have to meet, protocols. You understand? And for me, it's not like, oh, I just want to be a doctor. I just want to get a PhD and say, oh, I'm a doctor. No. Everything in life for me is about my country. I grew up in Sierra Leone, came from a very poor family. I went to elementary school, BFE. So I had no connection, I had nothing. But the street made me who I am with my faith, my Christian faith, which is first thing first for me. And but I always want to help. Always want to serve. My life is about service to my nation, to my people. It's not about me. It's not about how many cars, how many houses, how many money I have in the bank, how many chains. No, it's about helping, saving, and giving. I went to healthcare, because I'm looking at, first of all, if I can save one life in Sierra Leone in my lifetime, that would be one of the biggest, the greatest achievement. You know what I'm saying? It's not about getting all these degrees, stay in America, make all the money. No, I want to go back home with something bigger than music. You know, I can do music anytime. I can sing anytime. I'm promoting other boys, all them young musicians, you know, putting them in studio, paying their fee, you know, their studio bills. But I want something bigger than that because Sierra Leone needs. And then most importantly, I want to be that inspiration that I've always been since in my teenage, you know, staying onto my early 20s,
right,
until my music kicked in 2003, you know, blew up the airwave. I want to be that inspiration to give hope to youths.
I think, you know, from my experience talking to like people that I've spoken to about you and why I've always got, you've always been that person that I've tried to inspire, you know, the younger generation, if I can say that. When you were actively making music, you had almost an instant connection with the youth. You were there with them. You basically lived with them. How do you reach them now, from your position? How do you reach out to those kids?
Okay, the one easy way for me to reach out is, first of all, you have to have something incredible to show.
Right.
That's all you need.
Cool.
Then you can reach out the world. Reaching these kids, it's easy. I was a spokesman for AfriCell during my reign in music, when I was involved fully in the music, you know, industry. You know, they use me. I go to Jala University, FBC. I've been to convents, girls' school. I've been to FSSG. You know what I mean? All I need is just people to arrange. I go to the provinces. You know, it's easy. You know, I have fan clubs all over. You know, so that's like, but I want something to show, not just a bachelor's degree or high school diploma. No, I want something greater. You know, it's not about showing off, but it's about inspiring, right, you know, the kids, the young youths in school, you know, tell them you got to stay in school. I never had this privilege that you had. I never had money to buy textbook. My dad never gave me lunch to school because he cannot afford it. But today, because I was focused, you know, I made it. Look at who I am today. I can live in any house. I can drive any car. I can go anywhere. I don't need to steal from people.
Right.
I don't need to rob. I don't need to become a gangster walking around with a knife trying to stop people. You know, I think that's more or less my dream and my goal.
Okay,
in
so
life.
if I can just build on that for a second. So what's your opinion about some of the music then that promotes that lifestyle?
I really don't know anyone in my country who promotes that kind of music. I know they use the fan base, the let me say the Tog fan base,
right,
just to create that tempo, that momentary tempo, which doesn't even last for a year or
right,
two. And that's all, you know, because when you're in music, you don't care wherever the fame comes from. You don't care wherever the fan base comes from. You don't care wherever the money comes from. You just want it.
Right.
You know, but with time, with age, with whatever, you know, you pay the consequences.
Right.
So, but I don't know, I hear them, but I don't want to condemn them totally because they use F words now in Sierra Leone music, and I'm like, wow, that's cool. I wish I could do that at my own time, you know, and the youth now like it, some of them, not all of them. And it affects the culture sometimes, you know, because we have a culture. We're not America or England, you know, where, you know, it's like a freedom of freedoms.
Right.
No, you know, we have a culture to protect. I don't really hear like in America where I live, where you hear rappers talking about taking crack, you know, shooting my gun, killing people. You know, I don't hear people sing like that. I don't know, maybe they are doing it in Sierra Leone, but I really don't hear it that deep, close. You know, so I cannot really evaluate that.
When you were making corruption, right, were you, one, aware or conscious of the consequences of making a song like that, one, and two, did you think of what it could cost you? Were you ever say, oh, you know, or were you just like, you're in the moment, I had to do this, it had to be said?
I have to answer this quick. First of all, I did not know the consequences. I did not know the magnitude it's gonna go. I did not know the re-effect. I did not know I did not know anything.
Right.
I was just this desperate young kid with a gift of talking. I can talk. And because of that, I'm a comedian. Whatever I say is funny. Everywhere I go, people laugh. And it's just me. I don't copy it from anyone. And few friends around were like, why can't you just be a musician?
Right.
Why can't you just be a musician? You know, but there was no hope, you know. And I would live as a refugee in Conakry, Guinea. I was fortunate to meet with Jimmy B. By then, he was based in South Africa. He was a big superstar. And he came to the camps and support the refugees with food and money and clothes and things like that. And one guy who was his brother I met with hooked me up with Jimmy B and said, boss, this boy, he has talent. He can rhyme in 2 hours. Each word that he says ends with O or A in Creole, and it all makes sense. He was like, what? And he said, can you do it? I said, yes, sir. And I started straight. I was desperate. And he looked at me and be like, I can't believe this. He said, look at me. This is 1999. The war will be over soon. 2000, I believe. When Pakaba goes back, I'll bring a studio. And he did. He brought Paradise Family because there was no studio. They don't have studios.
Right.
And we started from there. You know, Paradise Family, I was the group leader. And I grew, okay, until Paradise Family disseminated in 2002. So in 2003, I was mature enough because I've done few collaborations and singles in the collaboration compilation albums that we've been releasing at Paradise Family. And you know what? I was just raw and desperate. And I was like reaching for the skies. You know what I'm saying? So there was no looking back.
Right.
It is either do or die. There is no do or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was in my mom's village. It's in the outskirts of Freetown called Charlotte Village. And bro, I just got this instinct from God, straight from God. Not me thinking about singing corruption. No,
Right.
I did not know. I was writing song all my life. Everywhere I sit, I write.
Cool.
Everywhere I write. And this song just beat in my head while the wind was blowing the trees. Just like, corruption, corruption. You know, because we live in pain. It was funny, like everybody was saying it. Everybody was talking about it. Everything you hear in that song, every kid was saying it. Oh, this, oh, that, corruption, oh, that. Like every word, every verse. But it all just came inside of me. You know, like God speaking right to me. And I wrote it down. I made a composition. It took me months to like put it lyrically because writing and putting it into music is a two different thing. And you know what? I went to studio, recorded as part of the album I was thinking of, and that song just sounded like something else. You know, I called the president for Cassette Seller and a few other people to listen, and they'd be like, did you do this song? What? Where did you get this idea from? And that was the time I was like, this is no joke. I thought it was a joke. You know what I'm saying? And bro, that song took me from 0 to 100. Before even releasing the song, somebody told me, bro, you don't even know who you are right now. I want to take you to Anti-Corruption Commission. They took me to the commissioner for Anti-Corruption Commission. His name was something Collier.
Right.
He was the then commissioner. He listened to the song. They signed me up as an ambassador for anti-corruption. They paid me a lot of money every year. Straight up, few other companies. The album was not even released.
Right.
This was just listening, just like I came from 0 to 100 before everything. You know what I'm saying? I did not know what was like going back. I did not know what was the consequences. I did not know I'll be attacked spiritually, voodoo with all, because I did not know I was going for the strongest of the emperors, of the goddess, of the gods, of whatever. I did not know. I was David. I wasn't scared of whosoever the Goliath was, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, that's all I can say. I did not know. All I know was God was with me. God made me. It was not like I was this talented guy. It came from God, and it changed my world forever.
Do you remember the studio session when you were recording Corruption? Do you still remember?
Yeah, the studio session for that song started with Sahisa, Planet Sound. Everybody knows Sahisa. You know, most people know him still, and he was the biggest producer then. I started with him, and he did the beats.
Right.
But unfortunately, I did not do the vocals with him because he was going through some personal, troubles and stress with a lot of stuff that he was not able to complete because it's not like he did not know the value of the song or whatever.
Okay.
There was no time for him to come close because you cannot produce the beats without knowing the song.
Yeah.
But he was going through a lot. So, but he did the beats, the instrumental. And then there was a trouble and we could not move forward. I waited for months. There was nothing going on. His studio was, and then so I moved to another producer called Apache. You know, he's another older producer. They've been playing in all these Afro-Congo bands for long years. He's an older guy. And he really made me believe in that song. When he heard the lyrics, he was like, he did not do the beat, we just used the same beat. He kind of, you know, boom it up a little bit. And he said, wow. He said, where you get this talent from? You say, you sure about this song? You know, so, you know, I started picking up some kind of tension on the way, but I did not focus on the tension. I was focused on my first album, because that was my first album produced by D-Sarge Entertainment and producer Daddy Sarge, myself, you know? So it was more like that ego, you know, to do my first album, release my first album. That was more my focus, you know, and get all the fame I could get. But Apache was the producer who put the instrumental and the lyrics together and mastered it, and the whole album, in fact. He mastered the whole album. Corruption Iduso was the name of the album.
So what happened? So song comes out, what happens?
My life changed. And during that first 3-4 years of reign, I had the opportunity to go overseas, Gambia, England, of course. And I made all the money in the world, fame, cars, home, everything I wanted, women, you know, haters, witches, all kind of people. I had everything. I had everything. You know, I go to church because I'm born and raised Catholic, St. Anthony's, all my life. I go and, you know, just like I used to go to this church since I was a baby.
Right.
And now the Father Reverend will call and say, oh, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I want to acknowledge the presence of somebody who have changed this nation. And he's been here with us since birth.
Wow.
And his name is Joseph Cole. And the whole they know. But people were like when I walk around, people, you know, I'm not like Jesus though, but people were shaking. Their hands were shaking. Oh my God, look at that. People were running, you know, to take pictures with me. You know, when I drive around Brookfield Motor Road, I see kids from girls' school or FSSG or convent. They form in a queue that is like 100 meters long just to buy the write-up of the song, the lyrics of the song.
Okay.
So they sell it in schools.
Okay.
Kids fighting to buy it just to memorize the lyrics. Hold me fumble them. It's like word for word. When I go to shows, I just hang the mic like this, and the whole spectators can sing it word for, like it was a breakthrough, you know what I mean? And I was also getting spiritual attacks, which I don't want to talk about. But I was born in a Christian family, and my Christian faith never left me, despite the fame, despite the sins I committed, you know, despite the wrong things I did, despite the lack of wisdom in other areas. You know, I was imperfect. But at the end of the day, God stood by me, you know, stood by me forever. You know, I got broken down. But all I can say is that it changed me, and I will never go back from where I was before that song. No matter which song I sing, Corruption Iduso is a game changer for me. Yeah, it is and will ever be the biggest game changer for me.
What was the reaction from the government at the time?
The government, it was hard for the government. I was attacked by the government. They tried to get me threatened, try to get me in prison. But the trouble was I had connections with, from nowhere. I was this guy sitting in VOA, the humanitarian, worldwide humanitarian, international humanitarian, all kinds of, were flying in, meeting with me, having me sign document. Don't worry, nobody can try you. Like, I went international from 0 to 100. I have the world backing me up. The government can't do me anything. The president even called me, the late President Kaba. And some ministers, when they say, oh no, you're a young man, we're so proud of your talents. You did a great job, we're proud of you, but we have to explain things to you so that you can, it's like I was like the chief auditor,
right.
The government calling me, ministers having me in their office, explaining to me their work that I did not steal. Listen, I know
You just don't
people-
understand how it works.
because they were afraid of me. When I go to the UE building where most of the ministerial offices were in Freetown, like I'm going on my business. Maybe I have some properties from the Ministry of Land, or I need to meet some other people for some private business. And secretaries, workers, they were running. Oh my God, he's coming. That guy will sing that song. I don't want him to write about me. They were running. Ministers were running. Secretaries, they were running. I was so powerful. I drive my car in the city. Like a few times I got to the point we call PZ, and I'm stuck in traffic or Eastern Police or whatever, and all these market women on the street. One person would just say, hey, look at that boy who did that song, Corruption, that is. They will leave the market on the street, run to my car. They say I should get off, traffic blocked, stalemate. I had to get off my car with my girls and my boys in my car, and they'll take off the cultural African people, they put the tea we call lapa. They put it on the floor. They say I have to walk on, like tears. I was like, is this me?
Right.
I could not believe those days. I became a king from not just like David, the shepherd boy. That's all I can compare myself with. Or Joseph in the Bible, from the prison yard, he became a prime minister. It's like, that's all I was like, wow. I was like, the world was at my palm, and I can't spend the day to talk about it, man. It was something else, but there was another issue out of all of that. Fear came.
Okay.
I had so many spiritual attacks, which people don't understand. That's why I never continue going deep into that kind of style of music,
right.
And then came, because there was nobody else doing it, then came all this scene, Dry Eye Crew, everybody who started. Now it's like, even people who sing about love songs and all of that, they all turned to be anti-political musicians, because they felt like there was so much power, there was so much respect, there was so much money, there was so much love and everything. So everybody wanted to be like Daddy Sarge. And you know what I did? I loved it. I backed off a little bit, because they did not understand. I know Jesus died on the cross, but I did not want to die. You know what I mean? Because, yes, Jesus died for us, and I'm grateful for his salvation, but I don't want to lose my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you asked me before, are you afraid of the consequences? Then, when the consequences shocked me, and I was like, you know what? I got to be careful.
Right.
God took me this far, I'm grateful. If I want to stand up like Fela, I'm going to die like Fela.
Right.
And I did not want to die.
Right.
I did not want to die. It was like for the first time I really saw what I did and where I was standing. And I was like, from here, fear came.
Which is understandable. I mean, you were pretty young when you did the song.
I was nothing.
Exactly.
I called myself a kid. I wasn't a kid, but I was a young 20. I was just a young boy with no experience of nothing. Just love to talk and have the guts to say what's true, and always ready to serve others. That was it. That was my gift.
So now, looking at your experience and what speaking up or speaking the truth, how that changed not just your life, but the life of the community as a whole. How important would you say it is for people to be, stand up and speak the truth?
Well, it is very important. We need more people like me, like what I did.
Right.
Okay, but there's a problem, which is Sierra Leone is Sierra Leone. Because sometimes we study overseas, or we have our life experience in other countries, and we want to implement it back home. Yeah. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
You understand? People only care about what they're going to eat the next day.
Right.
The education rates is like, 15% in a whole country. Poverty is like 90%, okay? And the worst part of it is that people are clinging on to their tribal base. I come from the Creole, although they say we are not a tribe, we are the returned slaves, I accept. But it's hard for a true Limba man, no matter what the Limba party, which we all know is the APC, is doing, to stand against them. It is difficult for the Mende man that is in-depth into his Mende political party, which is SLPP. No matter how evil, negative they're doing, they never stand against them. You understand? But for me, maybe because I wasn't Creole, Limba, Timini, or and I don't belong to any. So maybe that's why I did. So it's hard to teach, like, come out and say the truth. And you know what I mean? There's a lot of bias because of the tribe divided the country. You know what I'm saying? So it's really hard. You know what I mean? But there's so many, it's not just politics, there's so many other things. But what I learned from that, you know, because I've been doing this job for all my life, bro, the guy or the woman or whosoever, the greatest activists, I don't want to call names, we all know them in Sierra Leone, highly educated, financially fit in any area, they fight and talk and stand for the people, stand for justice, stand for the truth. People love them. The day one president or one political party say, come, why are you doing this? Or somebody say, no, we're just saying hi with this $200,000 or $100,000 or take this position. Done.
They change our tone.
They're done. You never hear them anymore. You understand? So, because they're poor. When you broke, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, especially in a country that is rated as one of the poorest in the world. It's hard. So I see people, hundreds of them, that I wanted to be like. I love what they did, you know what I'm saying? But they all turn out to be a sellout at the end of the day, after years, as the years go by. Because it's time to be like, you know, I've been fighting, but I'm broke. You know what I mean? And just one bribe or something, boom, they're out.
That's it.
You know, they turn coats, and it's really hard. You know, so for me, telling people to stand out, it has to come from you. You know, you can, and it's hard. I understand, but it has to come out from you. You know, I wish we can have 10 or 15 or 20 more people like I did, like me, myself. I made mistakes, yes, I know, but I'm not perfect, I understand. But we need more people who can stand for the real truth.
I think, you know, obviously what you said about tribalism, I think it's pretty much out as far as West Africa is concerned. I can't speak to the other part. I think it's a really big problem.
Yeah.
If I can go back to like your meeting with Jimmy B, right? What was your musical experience prior to that meeting with him?
My prior experience was just singing off my head, writing songs, you know, that was just like copycats.
Right.
You know, I grew up, I really got my real first inspiration becoming a musician, like writing songs on my own, was Buju Banton.
Okay.
But I never sang like Jamaican kind of like lingo. No, I did not. But I just love his style, the energy, the strength. You know, he expresses his voice and, you know, and try to use my language, but focus on social commentary.
Right.
You know, it's not good for you to be walking and peeing on the street.
Right.
That's public nuisance. It was not just about politicians. It was about everything. You know, anything that was an eyesore, I would sing about
Right.
it. It's not just politicians.
Right.
So, meeting with Jimmy B, then it was like I was all over the place.
Right.
With Jimmy B, it was like, okay, he kind of break me down and put me into, he gave me a lot of guide, a lot of, you know, framing and you know, framework about how to pursue. But he saw something bigger in me,
Right.
which he always tell me, he say, you're gonna be somebody, like I can see it, but I don't know how to explain
Let me
it.
tell you.
He always says that, you know what I mean? So that was hope for me. So I was writing my song. Nobody was writing for me. I was writing my songs. I bring it out. He can say, no, change that, don't say that, do that, that. Yeah, that happened. But so it built me. And it took like 2 years, let me say 3 years in all with him. And I was able to go on my own, you know, and face the real war. You know, it was not any training camp anymore. And when I went out there, I killed all my enemies,
Right.
you know, and that was it. You know, so Jimmy B gave me the frame. You know, and it's not just about singing, it's about lifestyle, the way you carry yourself, the way you dress, the way you talk in public, you know, how to write project proposals, you know, because being an artist there are no managers. Nobody know how to manage a musician. So I was the manager, I was the everything I was, not just the artist, I was like everything. And I learned all of that from Jimmy B, because he came from a bigger world than Sierra Leone music industry. So he gave me all that training, all that propping, and I was able to make it out there on my own when I went solo.
When you're looking at the scene today, what do you see? Do you look at it and be like, yep, I'm happy with what's going on right now, or do you see, oh, we could be doing better?
Okay, this is what I see from my heart. I'm not the best, I don't know it all. salon music today, these kids, this older, younger, whosoever, both female and male, they're doing a great job. They are extremely talented than our time.
Right.
And I have to say that because you know why? Because there's already a platform. We did not have any. There was nobody, no artist before me. Jimmy B was not singing the same music that I was singing.
Yeah.
So there was no one. There was no salon music. There was none at all. There was none. So my first hit was not even Corruption, was Congratulations. Bobo na bobo, bra na bra, komona yago ubayanda, you smell like fish na banda, mina the commander. Like, where did I get it from? Because there was no Sierra Leone musician. Nowadays, I hate to hear great, talented Sierra Leonean artists trying to imitate Nigerian musician. And I'm like, you guys, like, I just feel like throwing up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you serious? You know what I mean? I had nobody to imitate. It was just me, blood and guts and bones. You know what I mean? And I did it, you know, and there are a lot of them that don't imitate or try to copycat all this Nigerian because they're big. No, you understand? But it's a shame. But what I'm saying is they have a lot of talent because they have something to build from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They have more better equipment. The music industry has grown. They have now managers. They have people, like they have so much to make them go 10 times higher than we ever went. And they're doing it, but why nobody, their music is not going anywhere? I was the first artist to go to South Africa, sponsored by Heineken International, to attend the Chorus Award. You understand? I've won an international award. I became rated as the 9th best African musician in 2004, which was a BBC award, which I did not even know about. You know, so I won it international. Like, you know what I mean? This artists today, I don't understand. They don't make any money. They have all this talent. It's like you finish your music today and you're begging people to listen to it by sending it free on WhatsApp. You're cheap, like, you know what I'm saying? They do shows, the biggest artists, they do shows, nobody even goes there. You know, I'm like, well, how do they make money? And so it's really hard, you know what I mean? But I know they have a lot of talent, and I admire, and especially I admire like Emerson. Emerson took up the glow when I kind of like smooth back. But at the end of the day, I like his style. I like what he's doing, you know, in terms of the anti-political kind of music. But at the end of the day, he's just not getting what he deserves. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard. Like, I'm like, I don't understand. You know, what's going on? Like, it's just something I really don't understand, bro. I don't understand.
Do you think the artists that are copying the Nigerians, as you say, are doing it because they're trying to think, okay, I've been doing what I'm doing, there's no money coming in. Maybe if I do this, I might be able to break into a different market.
Listen, I don't want to call names, but everyone who've tried it, they are all losers.
Right.
They benefited nothing from the highest of the highest to the lowest of the lowest. You know what I mean? They did not make any mark into salon music. They are losers. And they know that. They might try to arc it over, cover up and make it look all like, oh, no, nothing. They're all losers. Because if you're going to sing like Davido, then why will I not just go and hire Davido? Why do I want to see you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you want to sing like Davido? Oh, good. Wow, you got talent, man. Okay, good. So let me go get Davido. You know what I'm saying? All these Nigerian artists come to Sierra Leone, they pay them what? $60,000 to $80,000. Treat them like presidents from first world countries, okay? And you, the biggest of the biggest in Sierra Leone, they don't even pay you 10% of that equivalent to the money they pay these artists that come to Sierra Leone. That, you know, because the other main thing was I was not just a musician, I became the first president for the All-Stars. So there was a command post. When I say this is this in salon music industry, no one goes against it. No one dare. Because I was not just a musician, I was a warrior. You understand? I have the fierceness that when you know what I mean? I was a fighter. I was not just an artist, just stand on stage acting like a superstar. I led the music industry. I took it from zero to somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I make commands, I make rules, I make decrees against all these people. You know, I don't want to call names, everybody know, like want to bring in foreign artists and this and that and just use the Sierra Leonean artists. They perform for free and they tell us that, oh, it's just for promotion. Promotion? No show. I don't care how much you pay this artist, and I did it in salon. And I made it a mark that I was the president, and I made a rule, a decree. And every Sierra Leonean artist that took part in the first show, that was Two-Face. I think that was in 2003 or 2004 or something. They brought him to, to Sierra Leone to perform. You know, they paid every Sierra Leonean artist that went up that stage $2,000, and it was in dollars, $100, 20 leaves of $100, $2,000. When the highest they ever paid any Sierra Leonean artist maybe was $100, equivalent to Sierra Leone money. You know what I mean? And there was unity. I mean, it was not 100% unity. There was some snitch.
Yeah.
But listen, no one stood against my decree. You understand? And Sierra Leone musicians were empowered. They have command. They have authority over promoters. Nobody just come in. You know what I mean? But nowadays, there is no one, after I left, no one stood up for all the musicians. Everybody's like, I'm better than you. I don't need you. And you know what? That's why Sierra Leone music industry is not going anywhere. If, like, let me say 5 of the best, of the most prominent, reputable musicians in Sierra Leone come together and say, bro, this is not about All-Star, Artists Unite, or whatever names they form in. Everybody's trying to get a position or whatever, I don't even know, a title. No, I'm talking of the biggest of the best come together, 5 of them or 6 of them, they sit on one table and say, this is how we're gonna do. You know what I mean? Let me tell you something, Sierra Leone music industry will change. You understand? They can be able to stand against the DJs who are not playing their songs, instead playing foreign music and putting down, like, you understand? They can do things, they can form things, you understand? Bring up ideas and innovation, how to build a foundation that can hold the whole Sierra Leone music industry. But no, it's like they're all greedy. I think I'm better than you. I don't need you. Okay, you think you're better than me, and everybody's in just their own little chateaus doing whatever they want. And you know what? The industry as a whole is not going anywhere. And if the industry as a whole is not going anywhere, you alone cannot make it. That's why you see Sierra Leone musicians, to the biggest of the biggest, they are broke. They don't have any future. They don't have any security. It's like you're just waiting to explode, to detonate. Like one day, you crash forever with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because, listen, one artist alone or 2 artists cannot. You guys have to form yourself together, not forming cabals, different cabals, fighting against cabals. It's a lot. It's a lot to talk about. But you know what? I'm spending so much time on my future, and which is a bigger dream for Sierra Leone, that I can go back with and take my country to another level one day by God's grace, than to spend time thinking about, what these all artists are doing. But at the end of the day, I wish them well, and I hope they will have another David that will come and stand not just for him or herself, but for the salon music industry and lead.
I was lucky enough to be around when you were doing the album with Mo.
Yeah,
here.
No, yeah.
Obviously, that's where Che came out from.
Yeah.
Can you just go back to that experience, how that was different from everything you had done before that?
Well, that album came straight after I did Corruption, and the expectation of Sierra Leonean people was definitely for me to go deeper into what I started.
Right.
But because of the consequences, which I did not expect. I expected it, but I did not. It was in my super ego, which means I did not in my conscious view. It was more like, you know what I mean? All I care about now is fame and money and power. I don't care about whatever comes.
Right.
But after I faced the real consequences, I was scared, And when I came to England on my first tour, it was successful, and I looked for a studio to record, an album, and that's how I met with Mo.
Okay.
But Che was not. It was engineered by Mo, but every instrument was more or less played by TK. His name was Abdul TJ.
Okay.
Abdul TJ. He was an old musician, long. They were like the best guitarists. Abdul TJ. He played the guitar. Like he was a genius.
Listen,
he was a different kind of musician. When I did Corruption, it was all electronics.
Electronic stuff.
There was no live instruments. It was all electronics. But Che was played live. And he changed me. Was like, wow. I moved from grade 3 to grade 7. Serious, with engineers, with professional instrumentalists, and I drove out into another category of, getting entertained, people entertained, not just talking about the truth or speaking about the truth. I know, there is a lot of trouble, but let me give some fun. I love African women. I love their big curves. And it was like, let me give some shout out. And you know what? It was successful, And so for me, it was like, wow, But seriously speaking, to confirm, to end what the question was, my first 3 albums, I should say, it was like I was all over the place.
Right.
Even though I already had the grip, I had a foundation on anti-political kind of music, but my style was like, I was versatile. I was all over the place, and everywhere I come, it was a success. So I was, But what I'm trying to say is that I was going up the ladder. I was going up. I wasn't coming down.
So were you going to your albums conscious of what you wanted to say, or did you just in the moment of it get inspired and just follow the inspiration?
No, I just get inspired. I don't just write songs because I'm angry or thirsty to write a song or compose a song. No, it was like most of my songs came out of conviction. Sometimes I have an idea, but I stay with it for months, weeks, playing it with my head, just a theme until I can get lyrics. Because I was more like a lyricist, not just a singer who just say words.
Right.
Every word has to rhyme. Every word has to come from the local idiomatic expressions. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was not, my type of music was not just music, just talking. No, I wasn't talking. I don't know how to talk. I'm a rhymer. Kondoiti mama kan sig bobo jama fangada magon go wegi gagale da research camp police saga fayama. Like I don't know. And when I say this words, people just jump in tears. They just jump in excel. They just, like they feel it in their bones.
Right.
Some understand. Some will be like, bro, I understand it. I know every word you said, but tell me what it means. And I was stuck in the same language because I grew up in the street. Like I remade the streets. I put words in everyone in Sierra Leone's mouth, like slangs. Like I created. Nobody ever heard it. You know what I'm saying? It was just a gift, bro. I did not went to university to learn that. It was a gift. I was gifted. It was in me. It was just coming out. So I was going from glory to glory. From level to level, man, so that's all I can say, So my experience in England, recorded with Mo, was like a new guy, in studio for the first time. And it all came out successful.
What was your experience in the business side of it being like?
The business side of it being like, for me, I made a lot of money. When I sing music then, well, not me, the music industry then,
right.
2003, 2004, 2005, was like you do a song, the song hits, they sell the music. There was no WhatsApp where you're going to give your music out for free.
Yeah.
When I go to the Cassette Sellers Association, I collect bags of money. That was my royalty, millions upon millions in dollars. I can say $10,000, $15,000, a lot of money. Okay, I did not have free music. When I do shows, I fill up the stadium. I was the first to even try it. And the first to ever go to his luncheon with a chartered helicopter. It was not just the music, it was the game, the swag. I did things that no artist can even imagine. Like they cannot even imagine it. Like those were the things I was doing. When I was tired with the stadium, I started doing the beach fiesta. Like everything in my time I did, I was the first.
Right.
And it was not something anyone can even imagine. It was not just cheap things that anyone can imagine. I did extraordinary things. And you know what? I made a lot of money. I was sponsored by the brewery, anti-corruption, a lot of companies, a lot. I made money. That's all I know. I was making money. I was taking care. I have an orphanage that is Sarge Street Children Fund, where I sponsored Don Bosco. They have like a plaque for me there. If you go to their headquarters was in 4th Street.
Right.
And if they have another camp in Lunge, the war wounded camp that was in Hastings with the little babies, they chop their hands. I take not food, clothes, books, school items every December. I used to, with my money, I did so much. I was making money, I have fan club based all over from the provinces, down all over the city, all over Freetown, outskirts of Freetown. So I made money, bro. I don't know how they're making money now, because I'm not in it. But I don't think the money, if I was singing still, can even pay one semester for my kids' school, fee. I don't think so. So I'm grateful, I'm into a higher level now of status, but I don't know what's going on. I was making money my time.
I think most of us are conscious of the fact that 2003 to about maybe up to maybe 2006, 8, Sierra Leonean music was at the lot going on. It was on par with everything else pretty much. So why is it then, in your opinion, that we're now today taking the environment we're in today, and you said that the talent is there.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
A lot. Oh, man.
So
no
why
joke.
is it then that today Sierra Leonean music isn't making money? Why is that?
This is my opinion.
Yeah.
First of all, then Sierra Leonean listen to Sierra Leonean music.
Right.
Now Sierra Leonean listen, I'm not talking, because the musicians are not the one buying their music.
Yeah.
It's the Sierra Leonean populace.
Right.
Which means those living in England, those living in America, those living in Australia, those living in Belgium, or everywhere, those living in Sierra Leone.
Right.
80% or 70%, which is the bottom truth on my view, they listen to Nigerian music. Okay, so even when you play salon music, they'll be like, oh, that's salon artist, oh yeah. But they don't buy your music. They see you like, yeah, you're doing well, that's good, you're a good man, you know how to sing, we love your music, thank you very much. But they don't buy your music, they don't pay for your show. Okay, when they say a Nigerian music, oh my God, I'm gonna go. They will spend, because Sierra Leonean lack this thing they call birthright. We lack it. And that's the truth. Sierra Leonean respect strangers. It's just maybe in our genes since the colonial days, I don't know. They respect foreigners. I'm a Sierra Leonean. If I go, let's say, build a hospital, okay, and a white man or some guy from another country comes in and build the same hospital, Sierra Leoneans would prefer to support the foreigner. It's just a cultural thing or whatever I say. Sierra Leoneans believe that because there's so much poverty, we should all be poor. We should all be broke. I see a lot of artists, which I cannot name them, where they were broke, but they had so much talent. When I say so much talent, everybody supported them. The Sierra Leonean fan base, the population, they supported them. They supported their shows. They paid for them. They bought their music. And this guy had some earnings, and now they bought their first car. Some of them were groups, some of them were single. They bought their first car. What I mean, car, a broken car, not even a brand new car.
Yeah.
And you know what? And you see some of the people who should be supporting them and say, oh,
the energy is
wow,
different now.
So now you bought a car, right? Well, good. I will see how you'll buy another one. They're done. Their career's over. I'm telling you, I don't want to call them. They're going to be listening to it and they know what that is saying. I'm telling you, that's the truth. Whereby Davido had like 7 cars and he has like 7 mansions. And now he got a private jet, and the same Sierra Leonean people, they would pay to go see him. But if it was a Sierra Leonean, soon as he bought his first car, he's dead. His career is dead. Who the hell are you to buy a car? Are you crazy? Like that's the culture I come from. They don't like see themselves grow. Like I live in America. Donald Trump, the crazy president or whatever people say about him, he's a billionaire. Okay, and you know what's happening? He's making more billions every day because that's the American culture. The more you make, the more they respect you. You're born for more and they will support you more. But not Sierra Leone. 70-80% of the people who are wealthy in Sierra Leone, I'm telling you, there are few real true business people, but most of them got their money the wrong way. They get their money from things that, you know what I mean? Like you don't even know where they got it from. But at the end of the day, they're untouchable. Maybe, I don't know, but people working hard, getting their money, whether they work it in Sierra Leone or they work it out of Sierra Leone, they would try to bring you down. And I have examples to call like Mohamed Kalon. He made a lot of money from playing football international. He invested, he loved his country. He gave everything to Sierra Leone to promote, change that country. He could not make it. So imagine a poor musician who only makes what? Maybe $500 a month. What do you expect from them? So when they turn their back from them. So it's really, I don't know, man, it's maybe cultural, it's really hard. It's just cultural. So
given the state of play right now, so what can a new artist that's coming out today, what can they do differently to change, to get Sierra Leoneans to buy their music, to get Sierra Leoneans to support their shows?
They first of all got to pray. Pray a lot like I do. I pray, I fast, I give tithing. I support God's the gospel of Christ. My money is not to just buy shoes and clothes and eat and go out and look good and save for my family and give to a few friends. No, I stay into God's work, charity. And that's what I don't know, bro. That's what I'm trying to say to you. You know what I mean?
Just pray for everything.
I don't know, just pray.
Pray for everything.
Because I want to see the next artist that can say, I built this mansion from singing music in Sierra Leone, or I bought this. It's not things. We're talking about things because what can I say? You know what I mean? That's where you start from before you can have $1 million in your savings. But I just want to see an artist in Sierra Leone who turn out to be wealthy from grass to grace just by singing music. But I don't know how that's going to happen. The only way it can happen, first of all, it's going to still be difficult because Sierra Leonean population is like, 8 million? Okay. Nigerian population is about 140 million, I think now. Okay. So, bro, compare, man. The market is small. Sierra Leonean population is small. So if 60% of the people turn their back from Sierra Leone music and start listening foreign music, then Sierra Leone music talking about income or plus benefit is out. So I don't care what you sing. I love it. I will dance to it. I'll shake your hand. I'll clap for you. I will say you did an excellent job. But bro, I don't want you to be broke. I want your kids to have food. I want your family to have a financial, to be financially substantial. Like, you know what I mean? I want something tangible, not just fame, because the fame will fade if you're too broke. You know what I mean? But how are they gonna make money? Maybe that question will go for somebody else. I don't know.
Is it possible to sell Sierra Leonean music to the outside world?
It is possible. They played, when I did Corruption was played in Congo. He was hit. It was on newspapers. It's a French country, but just the word corruption, I don't know how it went all over. It was played in so many other countries. It was like, and the BBC, or it was not BBC, there was an international music record label called The Shrine. I think they still exist. You can Google it, The Shrine. They put together foreign music all over Africa, the best of the best in different countries every year, and they sold it. And the artists would get royalties. They sold it international. They go international tours. I was part of it. I was able, I did not call it. I don't know them. They put it in and called me and said, this is the Shrine, blah, blah, blah. You come to England, sign royalties. And I made a lot of royalties from them. I don't know if Sierra Leonean music going to do it. Maybe one or two musicians have to be like singing in Creole in an album and some songs in English. I don't know, because now the Beatles and all these big Nigerian musicians, they play their music in American clubs. They play it on American radios. Right. Now they're so big because they perform in BETs. They go. It's a country. All these big musicians today, you hear them all over. No, it's not because they know how to sing, because they have a country which believes in their birthright. They know who they are. Nigerians are proud. You know what I'm saying? It's not just because they have a population of 140 million. It's because the people stood behind them, supported them. Jamaica, how many, what's the population of Jamaica? Maybe the population of Jamaica is 5 million or less. Okay? But Jamaican music is all over the world. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't depend on the amount of people from your country. It's just the force, whether it's 1,000 people in your country, the faith, they believe in their birthright. This is ours. We own this. Then I believe these musicians can go. But without that, I just don't know any other way.
So fast forward a little bit more, then we get Sariah Spat. How did that happen? Tell us about that.
Sariah Spat was a total new kind of comeback as the political activist that I stood for from the start, but from a different angle, which was, I felt like I saw a lot of betrayal. So for me, it was like, you know what? I think uniting people is better than dividing people. Singing the truth, talking about the truth is a good thing. That's what brings change. We all know that, from the apartheid, Mandela, all over the world, all the great leaders, Gandhi and all, yeah. But sometimes, you see a lot of betrayal. You know how Mandela went through, Gandhi, Martin Luther, all these people who stood for change. You saw what end, even Jesus Christ.
Right.
And I did not want to be like them. You know what I mean? As you were asking in the beginning, were you afraid of the consequences? It was like, I'm going to go to jail or lose my life just for nothing. Nobody even going to remember me. I was scared. So it was more like a time for me to rather unite, people. So I prayed, fasted, did what I could, and I got the same, instinct, like revelation manifested, like dream. I had this dream sleeping, it was real. Like Sierra Leone just transformed to a beautiful world, nothing close to anything but heaven. The streets of gold, beautiful people, smiling people, happy people, joyful kid, peaceful communities, love, unity, togetherness, one love and just righteousness, and truth. And it all started from that. And you know what? I put it down in pen and paper. I did a song out of it. Una good morning, me fumble them. This thing here we a dream. It was like explaining. It was like a poem. And you know what? That took it up me again to another landmark, breakthrough. That song united every political party, every thief, every thug, every deceptive, like everyone, the thieves, the good, the bad, the ugly, everybody loved me. It was not like corruption where the poor were like, yeah, we love you. And the thieves and all these political crooks and whatever people were like, oh, who you think you are, you little boy, you want to try us? No, this time, the thieves, the crooks, the awkwards, everyone, the best, the loving, the righteous, everyone loved me. Because it was like, I gave them hope. I brought hope. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's all I have to say about that song. And I loved it, and up to today, people watch the video, people tell me about the song. Hey, man, we need a song like that, man. Sometimes it's not about fighting and saying the truth. Sometimes it's about bringing hope, right. Unifying people, let them understand. We understand. But listen, we all have to think positive, for better days, man. You know what I mean? And that's all I can say about that song. And I can compare it with corruption, but it also brought another level of my ingenuity and my innovative skills and my gift and talent in singing and composition. You know what I mean? That's all I can say.
Yeah. Fire Mambo.
Yeah.
Now, in certain area, like, people don't even call you Daddy Sarge. They don't want to know that the Sarge is. They want to know what's your name.
Yeah, my real name is Joseph.
We all know your real name.
Oh,
We're not only talking about your real name.
Oh, Fire Mambo.
Fire Mambo.
Okay. The word Fire Mambo is a salute.
Okay.
Okay. Have you ever been to a crusade, like a Christian crusade in Africa? Like a crusade, like they do in the big stadium field, big theaters, like crusade where the man of God prays and touch the lame, people who are handicapped, they can walk, the blind, they see,
Right.
99% of them, whenever they come into the stage, when they're introduced, the real man of God that all these sick people, disabled people were waiting for, the people who are looking for miracle and breakthrough. Like I can go back to my days when I was a kid, Renal Bonke, who was a great international man of God all over the world. He came to Sierra Leone like 2 or 3 times. He healed the sick, healed the blind, healed the crippled, And when he comes to say stage, I was a little kid, the first thing he says, Hallelujah! And the whole stadium, everybody will respond, Hallelujah! And you can see if you have those kind of eyes, evil run away. You can see the power of darkness moving. It's powerful. It's like a salute. You understand? The word Fire Mambo, in little detail, Mambo means peace. And in different languages that I've studied, in years, not sometime in full length, but you can translate it as peace. There is this country I can recall, I think it's not Ethiopia, but one country in East Africa, they have the word Mambo, which means peace. You understand? So in all, I can say the word Fire Mambo means peace. That's what it means. But it doesn't only means peace. It means it's a salute. It's a way of breaking barriers, breaking bondage. Like you can come with your voodoo, with your whatever, your AK-47 or your bad mind. When I get on stage, when I la fireman, then you can hear the the vigor, when people respond, bow, fireman, bow. You know what I mean? He check walls, he break, I can see evil spirit falling. I can see the powers of people who wish evil for me. As a little boy, just have this talent of singing. I can see them melt down. They evaporate. You understand? So for me, it's a code. It's not just a word. And I don't want to go too far. I don't know voodoo, but I'm not just any ordinary kind of person. I'm spiritually equipped, blessed by my dad. I was born when my dad was 60, and my dad named me Joseph. And nobody knows that. I have a virtue. I have a bigger blessing in this life since I was born from birth. And yes, I made a lot of mistakes, just like men in the Bible. But listen, I'm gonna get there. I was born for greatness. Okay, but the only difference is that it's not just for me or my family. My greatness is to serve and to bring change and help others and help the weak and stand for the weak and represent those who cannot, the voice of the voiceless. So Fayamambo is a salute, is a code, and is a spiritual salute. That when I say that, even yesterday when I performed, you saw me. What did I say first when I got on stage? Fireman.
And the whole place
was like, bow. You don't have that kind of eyes, but I saw darkness, the power of darkness. I saw the power of witchcraft, evil, people with deception, set of mindset. I saw them crumble, man. I saw it, man. I'll give you some eyes like that one day you can see.
Big man.
And then you will know what Fayamambo.
Big man, I salute you, man. You know what I'm saying? You deserve it. Thank you so much for coming out. Listen, mate, you need to come back to the music industry. You have so much knowledge, man.
I have to. And that's a law. That's a rule, that's a decree from God, and I have to. I'm not running away. Okay, I want to build myself to come in a different level. Imagine Daddy Sarge did his first album, second, third, up to 6, and it was called Daddy Sarge. No, my first album was Salona With You, not even Corruption. Salona With You, and I was called Big Daddy Sarge when I was with Jimmy B. When I came, Paradise Family ended, and we all went solo. I was called Daddy Sarge. When I came to United States in 2009, 2010, I got a record deal with BMI Records in Washington, D.C. They named me, they changed my Daddy Sarge, because mostly people call me D Sarge. Not everybody say Daddy Sarge, you just say D Sarge. So they changed the D to Diamond Sarge, because I come from Sierra Leone, they want to take me international. So I represent the diamond, blood diamonds from Sierra Leone, so they named me Diamond Sarge. And since Diamond Sarge, I've not come back to Daddy Sarge, even though people call me Daddy Sarge, I'm still Daddy Sarge. My biggest dream, which I will end this interview with, is that what if one day I come with another album, but I'm Dr. Sarge? How does
PhD.
that feel?
Yeah.
How does that feel?
PhD. That's a PhD.
Is that not groundbreaking record?
We'll look forward
like a guy who did not even finish high school. Went to the biggest, one of the most sophisticated countries in the world, and can stand in any stage and speak, not just sing. I can talk to anyone because I have it on my back. I have the scars. I fought. I worked hard. I gave up everything. I made every sacrifice. I put everything into it. It's not just you pay for it. No, you work, you sweat, dreams, no going out, no fun, no vacations, broke. All your money into school, don't you think that's something?
No, that's something we're looking forward to already, man.
I have dreams, man. I'm not there yet.
No, listen, man.
I'm not there yet. I'm on the road, man.
It's
all
evident.
I'm doing is for my country.
It's evident.
For Sierra Leone. It doesn't matter wherever I stand in this world. It doesn't matter whoever I become. It's all in the name of Sierra Leone. I just want to take my country from, even if it's 1 inch up, I'll be proud in my deathbed someday when I'm 120 years old. I'll be proud of myself.
And
Sierra Leone will remember me.
There's a few million people right now waiting for you, man. They're looking forward to you, man. Listen,
and I'm grateful for the privilege.
Thank you for coming out. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything you've done, and we look forward to what you're gonna do next. Yeah.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. It's a pleasure.
People, you heard from him, man. The big man, he came through. He gave us a couple hours of his time. His boy is running to the airport now. We can't thank you enough for coming out. He's running straight to the airport, go back to, Iris, man. Real talk, we do it like this, man. Trust me. Gone.